You didn't teach your children about money, you performed it. Every flinch at a menu price was a masterclass they never missed. And they were in the front row, eyes wide, recording everything without a single notebook. Children absorb everything. There is one moment, one silent, unremarkable second, when your child's entire financial psychology gets written, not in a school, not in a lecture about budgeting, not in anything you said deliberately. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly when that moment happens, and why it's not the flinch itself that does the damage. If you've ever felt like your relationship with money was handed to you before you could refuse it, stay until the final minute. This video was made for you. Today we're going to unpack what behavioral science tells us about how children absorb financial identity. Not through what we say, but through what our faces do, what our bodies broadcast, what we reveal in the quiet, unguarded moments at restaurant tables and grocery store aisles. Children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. The flinch at a $24 entree, the whispered "let's just split something," the visible relief when someone else orders cheap. Your kids recorded all of it, and in the next 10 minutes, you're going to understand exactly what they learned. Picture a family sitting down at a restaurant on a Friday night. The menus arrive, and without even thinking, the parents do something almost automatic. They scan from the right side first, the prices, then maybe the food. A jaw tightens. A quick mental calculation runs in the background. Someone says, "Let's see what the specials are tonight." But the real message is something else entirely. This is the flinch, not dramatic, not loud, just a small, involuntary physical response to the perceived cost of wanting something. And it doesn't stop at restaurants. It happens at the grocery store when you put back the good olive oil, at the clothing store when you reach for the sale rack before seeing what you actually like, at the gas station when you look away to avoid seeing the total. The flinch is a physical broadcast of your relationship with money, what behavioral economists call loss aversion reactivity. The way potential financial loss activates a genuine stress response before any decision has even been made. Your brain registers the price as a threat, your body responds, and you think no one noticed. You think it was too small, too fast, too subtle. But someone was watching with the most sensitive observation system on the planet. What children are biologically wired to do with that signal will change how you see every meal you've ever shared with them. But this next part, this is what stopped me cold when I first encountered it. Children are neurologically wired to read faces before they can read words. This is not a metaphor, it is survival biology. From birth, infants track emotional expressions in caregivers as their primary source of information about the safety of the world. Psychologists call this social referencing. When a toddler stumbles and falls, they don't just feel the impact. They look at your face to decide how serious it is. Your expression tells them whether to cry or carry on. Now extend that same biological mechanism to money. Every time a price makes you pause, every time you exhale when checking a receipt, every time you lower your voice to say that's too expensive, your child's brain is not filing it under dad's mood today. It files it under facts about what kind of world this is. Permanent, foundational, identity shaping. Research from Cambridge University found that most core money habits are formed by age 7 years old, before second grade. The financial operating system running in your child's subconscious is already being written, line by line, meal by meal, from the data streaming off your face. The only question is which beliefs they're inheriting, and whether you chose those beliefs or they chose you. Let me name the specific behaviors, because naming them is the beginning of changing them. There are 3 primary ways financial fear transmits from parent to child without a single word being spoken. The first is the right side scan, automatically checking menu prices before the food, before the occasion, before the desire. This communicates that cost is the primary filter through which you evaluate what you deserve, not joy, not quality. Cost first. The second is the quiet redirect. Let's split something, or we had a big lunch, when the real reason is the price. Children under 12 have extraordinarily sensitive dishonesty detectors. They may not say anything, but they register the gap between what you said and what actually happened. The third is the visible relief. When someone else at the table orders something inexpensive and your shoulders visibly drop. That exhale teaches your child that financial tension is their baseline, and the absence of spending is the only signal that everything is okay. 1. Right side scan, cost before desire. 2. Quiet redirect, hiding the real reason. 3. Visible relief, tension as the default. These 3 behaviors, repeated across thousands of ordinary moments, become the architecture of your child's entire financial identity. If this is already hitting close to home, hit like and subscribe, to keep reprogramming your money mindset. Because what's coming next is even harder to look at. Now here's where the story takes a dark turn. Because the flinch you feel at a menu price did not originate with you, it was handed down. Your parents had their own relationship with money, shaped by their parents, their economic realities, the things they survived. And without a single explicit lesson, you absorbed it, through their faces, through the conversations held in lowered voices so the kids wouldn't worry. Except the kids always knew something was there. Psychologists call this intergenerational financial trauma, a pattern of scarcity thinking that transmits not through genetics, but through behavior, through the body, through what gets normalized in a household over decades. The chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. Studies on family systems therapy show that financial anxiety is one of the most reliably transmitted behavioral patterns across generations. Families that experienced real scarcity, job loss, poverty, economic crisis, often produce children with scarcity responses even when their objective financial situation has dramatically improved. You might earn more than your parents ever imagined. You might have security they could only dream about. But if your body still flinches at a $40 dinner, the old program is still running, and it's still broadcasting. What it's broadcasting to your children is more specific than you realize, and it goes far deeper than the price. Here is what your children are actually recording, and this is the part most parents miss entirely. They are not recording the price on the menu. They are recording your relationship to that price. There is a profound difference. When a child watches their parent hesitate over a $24 entree, what gets stored is not that dish costs $24. What gets stored is people like us don't spend like that. People like us, that is identity-level programming. The sociologist Pierre Bourdieu called this habitus, the set of dispositions and tastes that feel natural to us because they were absorbed in childhood long before we could examine or question them. Our financial habitus tells us not just what we can afford, but what we're allowed to want, whether abundance belongs to people like us. What you believe you're allowed to want defines your financial ceiling. A child who watches a parent shrink in front of a menu doesn't just absorb a money lesson. They absorb a story about their place in the world, a story that will play out decades from now in their salary negotiations, their own restaurant behavior, their hesitation before spending on something they genuinely need. The mechanism that installs it runs every single time you think you're just checking the prices. What happens when parents finally become aware of this mechanism will surprise you. What I'm about to tell you sounds counterintuitive, but the research is consistent. When parents become deliberately aware of how they perform money in front of their children, something remarkable happens. Not just in the children's financial development, but in the parents' own relationship with money. A 2019 study in the Journal of Family and Economic Issues found that parents who engaged in intentional financial modeling, consciously choosing how to display their money relationship in front of their kids, reported meaningful improvements in their own financial decision-making within 18 months, not just their kids' outcomes, their own. Why? Because being watched changes the one who is being watched. There's a principle in physics called the observer effect. The act of observation alters the behavior of what's being observed. Your children, in their quiet and constant surveillance of your financial behavior, have been the most powerful accountability system you never signed up for. Dr. Brad Klontz, one of the leading financial psychologists in the country, has spent decades studying what he calls money scripts, unconscious beliefs that drive financial behavior without awareness. His finding, these scripts, transmitted through behavior rather than conversation, are far more influential than anything we deliberately teach. The most powerful financial education happens when no lesson was intended. The mirror your children hold up to your money relationship might be the most honest financial advisor you've ever had. The question is whether you're willing to look into it and what you're actually going to do next. Now forget everything instinct tells you to do here, because the first impulse is the wrong one. When parents realize their children are watching their money behavior, the instinct is to perform calm they don't actually feel, to suppress the flinch, to put on a show of financial ease that doesn't match their inner experience. But that approach backfires in a very specific way. Children are extraordinarily sensitive to incongruence, the mismatch between what someone displays and what they actually feel. When they see you perform calm over real anxiety, they don't learn financial ease. They inherit the mask, not the piece underneath it. And then they spend decades performing financial confidence while feeling financial dread underneath. Exactly like you. The way to break the loop is not suppression, it's narration. The most powerful thing you can do when the flinch rises. In a restaurant, at a checkout counter. In any moment of financial discomfort, is to name it and contextualize it out loud. This costs more than I'd usually spend, but tonight matters, so we're choosing it. That single sentence teaches money decisions are conscious and within your control. It models agency over anxiety, and agency, the felt sense that you are choosing, not reacting, is the thing that rewires what they inherit. But to practice it consistently, you have to go somewhere uncomfortable first. And the next piece is the one most people want to skip. And this is where the real work begins, and why it's harder than it sounds. Financial psychologists who work with adults on breaking generational money patterns consistently find the same thing. The people who succeed don't just change their behavior around their children. They go back to the source. They identify the specific scenes, the specific moments, the specific table where they first learned that money was dangerous or scarce or shameful or something that happened to other families. And then they do something that feels counterproductive. They grieve it. Because the truth most people aren't ready to hear is that this work is not primarily about your children. Look inward. Your children are the urgency that finally makes you confront yourself. Every flinch at a menu price carries a younger version of you inside it. A child who learned to check prices before pleasure, who absorbed at age 5 or 7 that wanting more was somehow too much. Healing your money psychology is not self-indulgence. Healing your money wounds is the most direct form of generational medicine available. The work you do on yourself is the curriculum they receive, which brings us to the one moment I've been building towards since the beginning of this video. The single most powerful instant in your child's financial education. It's not what you think, and it changes everything. This is it. This is the moment I promised you at the beginning, the single most powerful instant in your child's financial education. And it is not the flinch. The flinch is just data. What actually writes the program is what happens in the 3 seconds immediately after it. If you flinch and go silent, retreating into shame, your child learns that money creates a reality too painful to speak about. If you flinch and redirect with a half-truth, they learn that financial reality is something adults hide, which means something dangerous. But if you flinch, and then you breathe, and then you make a conscious, narrated choice, you know what? We're ordering what we actually want tonight, because this moment with you matters more than the number. You install something extraordinary. You teach them that financial discomfort is survivable, that it doesn't have to make the decision for you. Abundance is the posture you choose when money tries to shrink you. Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. The most expensive meal you will ever serve your children costs nothing. It's the meal where the discomfort rises, and you choose differently anyway. That 3-second window after the flinch, that is the inheritance. Do you believe parents can actually rewire this pattern, or is it already too deeply installed? Comment rewirable or too deep. I want to know where you stand on this. And if this video hit you the way it hit me, send it to every parent you know. Share it with as many people as you possibly can. The kids at those dinner tables are taking notes right now, and this truth needs to reach them. Here is what I want you to carry out of this video. You are not just a parent, you are a financial archetype. The living, breathing definition of what's possible, installed into your child's subconscious before they have any language to question it. And legacies are not written in wills or investment accounts or college funds. Legacies are written in every small moment they watched you live. Flinch was never really about the price. It was about a story you inherited, about a ceiling you were handed, about a version of yourself that learned early that wanting too much was dangerous. But that story is rewritable, right now. At the very next meal you sit down to, you don't need a financial overhaul. You need one conscious breath before you react, one honest sentence when the discomfort rises, one 3-second window where you choose presence over performance. Research is clear. Children who grow up watching adults navigate financial discomfort with transparency and intention develop stronger financial resilience, higher tolerance for uncertainty, and more expansive beliefs about what's available to them. Not because their parents were wealthy, because their parents were honest. Honest parents raise wealthy minds. Your children are not recording your bank balance. They are recording your relationship to it. Change that relationship, even imperfectly, even one dinner at a time, and you change what they inherit forever. If you made it this far, comment menu mindset, because you now understand that the most powerful financial lesson you will ever teach happens in the moment you thought no one was watching. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it. The right side scan, the quiet redirect, the visible exhale of relief, 3 small, ordinary behaviors, thousands of repetitions, 1 complete financial education, absorbed before your child ever opened a textbook or sat through a single talk about money. But here is what changes everything. The moment you understand your kids are watching and recording, you are no longer the person you were before you knew. Awareness is not just the beginning. Awareness is the intervention itself. The greatest financial inheritance you can leave your children is an honest, unafraid relationship with money. And it begins with your own. The next meal is an opportunity. The next moment of discomfort is a curriculum. The next 3 seconds after the flinch. That is where legacies get rewritten. Comment menu mindset if you're ready to change what you serve at your table. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it.